I am the designated mender in my house, at least when it comes to anything that needs sewing, although I don't know how to darn socks. But I kind of love being the designated mender. There is such simple satisfaction in stitching a beloved stuffy or a piece of clothing back together. As the thread pulls the seams together like magic, it is whole again, sometimes even sturdier than it was before. It is a small thing, but those small things are sometimes the most satisfying of all, aren't they? It's broken, and then it is fixed, and you have accomplished something with just a few moments of your day. Whenever I feel overwhelmed, I appreciate small tasks like this, tasks with a concrete beginning and a concrete ending, most important of all, right? And with a clear product. I feel like Cecil from our story might be a little like me in this way. Once he starts fixing things, he remembers how much he enjoys it, how satisfying it can be. His own broken heart was an overwhelming thing to try to fix. But once he starts fixing smaller things, the path to his own healing becomes more clear. Now you might be thinking, he has a broken heart? I didn't catch that part. That's okay. We don't actually hear in the story about how Cecil got a broken heart, and it's actually only in the summary of the book on the book jacket that it explicitly says that he has a broken heart himself. But you can read between the lines, right? And I imagine that his broken heart has something to do with grief, some hard loss in his life. There's some loneliness, for sure. And grief is absolutely one of those overwhelming things. It can just totally immobilize us, making us forget even how to take care of ourselves. One of the things that they teach about grief of any kind, or any kind of trauma, is that people need reminders sometimes in the midst of it to drink water, to feed themselves, to sleep. Grief and trauma can make your body go into fight or flight mode, which means that your whole system is overwhelmed. And in those moments, sometimes we need these simple, small tasks to help us get grounded, to get us out of that fight or flight mode. Drink a glass of water, wash a couple dishes, fix a broken pocket watch. For Cecil, starting to mend small things for the neighbor children seems to bring him back to himself, to help him resurface from that broken heart and get back in touch with the larger world. This physical act of fixing, I imagine that it calms down his body. And then the satisfaction of the children helps him connect to something outside himself. And soon, small things mended becomes all things mended, right? Soon he's able to realize that what he needs most is community, and to begin to build that for himself. What a broken heart needs is friends, he says, of the elephant. But I think he's also saying it about himself, right? I wonder if any of you have ever been sad or lonely or overwhelmed and found your way out of it by doing small things, one at a time. Anyone ever had that experience? And I wonder especially what Cecil's story has to tell us about living through this moment, through this time. A lot of people are feeling a lot of things right now, right? Anyone got some feelings? Maybe overwhelmed, fearful, sad, anxious, angry. We've got all these trauma feelings in our bodies right now. Shakiness and confusion, an inability to make decisions, a quick temper, forgetfulness, and more. That's what trauma feels like, what it does to us. And like Cecil, I feel like we might need some small things, right? Some small things to ground us in this overwhelming, anxiety-ridden time. When we get in that fight or flight mode, when we feel it in our body, how can we get rid of it? What do we need to regulate ourselves and move forward in any given moment? Now, luckily, my colleague, Kate Wilkinson, has created this wonderful resource. I'm gonna get it. Oh, it's up there too, but we have one for everyone. We're not, let's pass them out.
Okay.
So we're gonna pass these out, and there are two versions. There's the regular print version, and there's the large print version, and you get to decide which one is right for your body.
Same content.
Same content, and I think Erin and Sadie and maybe Lucas are going to help pass them out in here. And Matt's putting a link in the chat for you folks online so that you can have access to it, not just through the slides. And this is a resource that is full of ideas for small ways to deal with the overwhelm of this moment. And I love a lot of things about this resource. First and foremost, I love that it just tells you what to do, right? It just tells you what to do. You don't have to think about it. I feel like that's kind of what I need right now, right? Yeah. On the days that I feel most like I don't know how to deal with any of it, I just want someone to give me some direction. And this little chart does just that. Second, I love that it has these categories: remove, recalibrate, rest, refill, reconnect, resist. It acknowledges the many different ways that we might help ourselves regulate, help ourselves move through the day. Now you can take a quick look at the top and think, which of these might I need right now? Which of these might I need? Do I need to recalibrate? Do I need to just rest? Do I need some refilling, right? And it also acknowledges that we don't need to do just any one of these things, right? We need the balance of all of them. Sometimes we need to remove ourselves, and sometimes we need to resist. Sometimes we need to reconnect, and sometimes we just need to refill our cup. Whatever we need, we can find maybe a small thing here that helps us with that. And that's the final piece that I love. I love that each of the suggestions are small, bite-sized actions to help ground us in the overwhelm, to give us some sense of direction in the chaos. Mending a watch may not seem like it can fix a broken heart, but Cecil's story shows us that it can be the first step to getting grounded and ready for healing, right? And being kind to a stranger, or taking 5 breaths, or writing a letter may not seem like it can mend a broken world. But perhaps it can be the first step in getting ourselves grounded and ready for the work ahead. We're going to hear a song from our choir now as you ponder the chart about small wonders, little wonders.